Galo, William.
Galo, check.
Zybel, Frederick.
Zybel? That's Z. You're leaping from G to Z. Haven't you anyone between those letters?
Yes, sir.
Well, then call them off alphabetically. You've been at this long enough to know the rules.
Yes, sir. My mistake. Sorry, sir.
Continue.
Peggy, Alicia.
Peggy, check.
Ingle, Peter.
Ingle, check.
Irwin, Lucy.
Irwin, check. That's better. Saves lots of work.
Yes, sir. Jacobson, Morris.
Jacobs, check.
Washington, Hannah.
Nothing between Jacobson and Washington?
No, sir.
Washington, check.
Zybel, Frederick.
Zybel, check.
That's all, sir.
Very good. All right, you're next.
Messenger 3081 reporting, sir, 5 passengers.
Territory?
The southeast of Finland.
Proceed. Alphabetically, mind you.
Yes, sir. Abelius, William.
Abelius, check.
Kalesia, George.
Kalesia, check.
Look, lady, I don't know what you think you're doing,
What do you
but
mean,
you're making
what
What in gracious heaven is
What
that?
do you think you're taking?
What do you mean,
I mean,
where am I
what is
taking you?
this?
I
What am I
told you
doing up
already.
here? What are you, screwy or something?
I am fast losing patience with you, Mr. Pendleton. Resign yourself to the fact that you have nothing, absolutely nothing to say in this matter.
Oh, is that so? Well, we'll see about that. Who's in charge around here? I'll settle this thing quick.
It is all settled as far as you're concerned, Mr. Pendleton. Believe me.
Oh, yeah? Well, we'll see.
Excuse me, what's the trouble?
That's right.
Messenger 701 reporting, sir. No trouble at all.
Oh, yes, there is, and there's going to be a hell of a lot more.
Hush.
Don't tell me to hush. I'm going to squawk my head off. Are you the boss?
A little more respect, Mr. Pendleton. This is Mr. Jordan.
Oh, it is. Well, Mr. Jordan, this dame here tells me I'm dead.
You are most certainly dead, else I should have taken you.
That don't prove nothing. You just plucked the wrong bird, lady. You make mistakes, too, you know.
Mistakes, we how utterly fantastic.
Look, a fella ought to know if he's dead or not, I guess.
Oh, pay no attention to him, sir. It was a most difficult case. Fought me tooth and
Hey,
nail
I
all
ain't
the way up.
started fighting yet. If you fellas think you can drag me...
Silence! Is he all you gathered?
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Yeah, well, you're going to be a lot
Be
sorrier.
still.
Who is he?
Pendleton, Joseph.
Oh, you even got my name all balled up. It's Joe Pendleton, not Pendleton Joseph.
What territory do you cover? 7013.
A place called New Jersey,
New
sir.
Jersey, okay.
And if it can at all be arranged, I should like very much to be transferred.
Now, look, you're not going to find my name on any list. Don't waste your time looking. I ain't ready for wherever it is you want to take me.
But Mr. Pendleton, you're bound for heaven. You'll hear the inner music of the spheres. You'll walk upon the shores of the crystal sea. You'll watch the flowers break and blossom in the moonlight. You'll know happiness beyond achievement in the world you just left. You'll reap the harvest after famine and drought of mundane existence. You'll know compassion and
Stop
love.
selling him the place against the rules.
Yes, sir.
Look, you're a nice dish, and I appreciate what you tried to do, but honest, my number ain't up yet. It can't be.
Pendleton.
You'll find it all right.
Oh, yeah? How much you want to bet? Hey, what'd you do with my roll?
You won't need any roll up here, Mr. Pendleton.
What did you do? Your occupation?
Oh, me?
Yes.
I'm a cog, a fighter, you know. And when I'm not fighting, I'm flying. I do commercial flying for a firm out of Jersey, McGovern, Rafferty, and Blunt. Make 3 trips a week. Boston, Toledo, Chicago, Omaha. Everybody knows me, the flying fighter.
You were the flying fighter.
I still am.
There's no Pendleton Joseph listed.
Hey, what'd I tell you, Smarty?
Are you quite certain, sir?
Well, the lists are infallible. I'm afraid you've made a mistake.
Oh, mistake, but that's not possible.
Why not?
Well...
You're new, aren't you?
Well, yes, sir. This was my first date. That was my first trip.
I thought so. Overzealousness. Out for record collections. Why, this thing happens right along with the inexperience.
You mean, sir, that these errors are not infrequent? That we often collect souls before they're...
That's precisely what I mean.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, Mr. Pendleton. I'm afraid I owe you a big apology. I am so sorry.
Yeah, that's all right, lady. No harm done. We all make mistakes. You just take me back and we'll call the whole thing even.
Thank you, Mr. Pendleton. You're such a kindly spirit, but I'm afraid there's no taking you back.
Why not?
Quiet! How old are you?
22, be 23 in April, and in the pink.
How did he manage to wangle that thing up here.
I couldn't get him to leave it behind,
Oh,
sir.
this? It's my buddy. I never let go of this. It keeps my lungs in shape. Yeah, I take it up with me the mornings I make the flight. Just as the sun's coming up, I set the controls for blind flying, fill my lungs with all that sweet ozone, sit back and give out. Oh, yeah. Up there away from everything, I play things I never knew was in me. Levine says if I keep
Who
it
is
up.
Levine?
Oh, he's my manager. Swell guy. He's got a piece of me. He picked me up one night in a story after he saw me put away Butcher Boy Mackenzie. He said I had color. You know, like the Manasseh Mauler.
What is he talking about?
I don't know, sir.
What is Manasseh Mall?
Oh, you kidding?
We
We don't
don't
kid,
kid,
Mr. Pendleton.
Oh, you mean you three never heard of the Manasseh Mauler, a Dempsey?
Afraid not.
Oh, you don't get out much, do you? I suppose you never heard of Rudy Valley either.
Oh, is he another Manasseh Mauler?
Oh, now I know you're clowning.
Look, ask the registrar for the file on Pendleton Joseph and get me a copy of the latest listing.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there's a possibility he may be on the new list.
Really? Oh, I hope so,
Hey,
sir.
now wait a minute. Don't try to finagle me on any new list. I got my whole life to live yet. I'm in the pink, I tell you. I ain't ready for this joint yet.
Really? And to what shining pleasures do you wish to return, Mr. Pendleton? The rush to catch the evening train, the enervating manna of the refrigerator and the tin, war, hatred, persecution, the rule of might.
Yeah, I know the going gets pretty tough sometimes, but still, it's a lot of fun. I mean, meeting somebody, falling in love, getting married, having kids, making somebody happy, being somebody. It's swell, and I don't want to miss any part of it.
How in pandemonium did you happen to pick him up?
Oh, well, she caught me. Just as I
Please,
was
Mr.
headed down-
Pendleton, this is strictly my domain.
You see, sir, it happened like this. Well, I was on my way back to report a singularly fruitless day when suddenly I saw Mr. Pendleton's plane cracking up. So I immediately hopped aboard, and as I did, his face turned up in prayer, harrowed my very soul. Sir, I know we messengers mustn't let our emotions sway us, but I could spare him an indescribable agony by simply taking him off before the plane actually crashed. And well, sir, forgive me, but that's exactly what I did.
Unpardonably presumptuous.
Yes, sir, I know I'm just desolate about it. I'm sorry.
Look, you're a pretty good skate at that, and I appreciate what you tried to do, but honest, I wouldn't have crashed. Oh, no, sir. I'd have gotten that plane under control somehow. Nothing ever happens to me when I got my lucky sacks along.
No, it's impossible that you were spared. You were hurtling towards the earth with the speed of a meteor. You were probably smashed into itty-bitty little tiny crispy bits and burnt as well.
No, it wasn't in the car. I don't know why I'm so sure. I just feel it.
Oh, you don't feel anything. You didn't feel a crash, did you?
No, but that's because I didn't crash.
Oh, really? Well, next you'll be telling me you weren't flying.
Yeah, I was flying
Oh,
already.
really?
I'm perfectly
We'll as soon
honest.
as settle this. Ah, yes, here we are. Pendleton Joseph, born 1914.
That's right, April 1st. Oh, jeez. Now I get it. April 1st. Oh, jeez.
A mother's name Mary, father's Augustus.
Yeah, but don't let him hear you call him Augustus.
Both withdrawn and awaiting Joseph, scheduled to join them the morning of May 11th, 1998.
1998? Jeez, that's 60 years off yet.
It seems you were a bit premature.
Oh, 60 more years to go. Boy, you should pull the boner that time. Oh.
All due respect to the registrar, sir, there must be some mistake. I might have been just a bit hasty, but certainly not 60 years.
Oh, the registrar never makes mistakes.
How any mortal could possibly survive such a crash is beyond me.
The point is, he has. How is none of our concern.
Yes, sir, I don't know quite what to say.
Say nothing. Take him back.
Take him back?
Yeah, and the sooner the better. I mean, I gotta get ready for my go with the Alabama bomber. Say, if you fellas want to see that scrap, let me know. Maybe I can get you a couple of comps. Come on, let's go.
Sir, is it possible to return, Mr. Pendleton?
Certainly, why not?
I rather thought this was the bourne from which no traveler returneth.
Mr. Pendleton did not travel here. You collected him. Now, we can't have him hanging about for 60 years, can we now? Off with you.
Yes, sir, if you say so. Come along, Mr. Pendleton.
Oh, well, sure, I'm glad I met you, Mr. Jordan. Now, thanks for straightening this whole thing out here. I'll be seeing you in 60 years, if you're still on the job. So long.
Goodbye, Mr. Pendleton.
Oh, come on.
I do hope you won't have to report this.
Well, I'll have to.
Oh, please don't, I beg of you. You see, the chief wasn't too keen on putting me on. I mean, it was only through the most influential pressure and an outlook of a harvest grader, alas, the 1914, 1918 that he did so. So if you could just overlook this one little incident, it won't ever happen again. Really, in the future, I shall be scrupulously careful. Really, I shall. Please.
Well, run along. I'll think about it.
Oh, thank you, sir. Come along, Mr. Pendleton.
Hey, let go of me, all right?
Now, where were we?
We had just finished checking in Mr. Kalisha,
Ah,
sir.
yes, Mr. Kalisha, couldn't forget that name. Now, look, don't let 7013's error be a lesson to you.
Yes.
Don't be overly ambitious. Exercise the degree of care and vigilance expected of you.
Yes, sir. My record is 100%, sir.
We'll see that you keep it so.
Yes, sir.
Proceed.
Pourvu, honor.
Porvu, check.
Sillenpaw, Ralph.
Sillenpaw, check.
That's all for this claim, sir.
Well, what now?
Sir, I'm frightfully sorry, but it's impossible to return Mr. Pendleton.
Impossible, why?
Jeez. They done an awful thing to me, Mr. Jordan.
By they mean his manager, Mr. Levine.
Yeah, while you two had me up here gabbing, the dumb cluck found my body in the plane and he had me cremated. Oh, wait till I get a hold of Levine. I'll fix him. He can't go burning me up and get away with it.
That's bad, very bad. Complicates everything.
I know, I feel so bad. I feel simply ghastly.
How do you think I feel?
Look, I suppose I'll have to take charge of this. You finish checking in the rest of the passengers.
Yes, sir.
Come along,
Wait
Joseph.
a minute, now where to?
Well, I'm taking you back.
You can't. Didn't we just tell you I ain't got a body anymore?
What of it? I'll get you another body.
Wait, you
Another
do what?
body?
That's what I said.
Wait a minute. What kind of a deal is this?
Leave it to me, Joseph.
Hey, I'm leaving nothing to you. I'm not letting you shove nobody's body on me.
Oh, now, Mr. Pendleton, if Mr. Jordan says he'll get you another body, rest assured it will be just as good, if not better, than your own.
Hey, there wasn't no better. I was built like a truck. I put in 15 consecutive years getting this body in the pink, and I ain't giving it up just because you fellas fumbled the ball.
But, Mr. Pendleton, your body's gone. It doesn't exist anymore.
Well, that ain't my fault. You fellas can do anything. Get busy. Do your stuff.
We shall, Joseph. You shall have your choice of 1,000 bodies, all excellent specimens.
Do you hear that, Mr. Pendleton? Your choice of 1,000 bodies, now think of that.
Yeah, I am thinking of it, and I say no dice. I don't want anybody's body but my own.
Oh, hush, don't make such a fuss about it. Now, what is it, after all? Just a mere physical covering? Worth, in your case, chemically about 32 cents.
Not my body. It was in the pink, I tell ya.
Sir, do we have something available on the list? Something athletic? I do suppose you want to continue your pugilistic career.
Oh, yeah, you suppose, right? I mean, there ain't nothing like it. The fame, the dough, the roar, the crowds, pictures in the paper. Oh, it's
I'm
swell.
afraid we haven't much to offer him if that's the sort of thing he wants to do.
Oh, I have an idea. Can we have him reborn?
Oh, Mix, I'm not going through that again. Besides, what about my match with the bomber? Reborn? I wouldn't be able to make the weight in time.
Would you like to be rich, Joe? Very rich.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be. I mean, right after I put away the bomber, then I polish off Killer Gilbert, after which I take out that phony palooka K.O. Murdoch. And then, the $1 Million Gate and into my corner, sitting pretty for the rest of my life, with a restaurant or two just to keep me busy.
Well, you can have all that without a fighting, Joe.
Oh, no, that wouldn't be any fun. I mean, I don't want anybody to hand me nothing. I want to go out there and get it myself.
But consider this, Mr. Pendleton. You could be anybody you like. You could be, a king, or how about a prime minister, or a poet?
Hey, a king? A guy like me? A swell king I'd make, huh?
You make a great king.
Oh, no, look, I wouldn't be good at being anything but what I am. I'm just a mug.
Oh, we're all mugs, Joe.
How about a dictator?
Oh, Mussolini?
Well, someone like that, a very athletic fellow, very
Okay,
powerfully
what's
built.
his test expansion?
No.
No, never mind. Unless, is Rudy Valley available? No, never mind.
Come along, Joe.
Wait, now let's get this figured out before we go running
I'll
around.
make it all clear to you as we go along, and don't worry, my boy, you'll be handsomely recompensed.
Well, all I want is what was coming
We'll
to me.
do our best, Joe.
You're wasting your
Oh,
time.
we don't mind that here.
Goodbye, Mr. Pendleton. Best of luck to you, my boy.
What's the matter, Mr. Jordan? You tired?
No, Joe, merely weary.
Hey, that's because you're not conditioned. You know, you fellas really should keep yourselves in better shape. Now look at me, I ain't even puffing.
Well, it's not physical exhaustion that has me down, Joe. It's you. You're a job. I mean, I offer you the very cream of last week's crop, and you turn a contemptuous nose at the lot.
Now that's because there wasn't a physique in the bunch. Now I ain't letting you fellas palm off no second raters on me. You gotta keep in mind, I was in the pink.
That's becoming a most obnoxious color, Joe. Don't mention it again, please.
Okay.
Do you realize that we've practically covered the universe? This is our 130th stop.
Yeah, we sure get around, you know. I mean, Sam, we're in Russia. Sawi, Australia. Wham, England. Zoom, New York. I mean, how do you do it?
Oh, that's a trade secret, Joe.
You know, I can't get over the way we get in and out of places either. I mean, walking right through locked doors, past people without them even seeing us. It's uncanny.
Oh, that's precisely the word.
And you know what? I'd have sworn that maid saw us when we came in here. I mean, she looked right at us. And those other girls brushing up against us, oh, it's got me. Hey, you know, you and Houdini would have been a sensation in vaudeville. So, who's the guy you want me to size up here?
Jonathan Farnsworth.
Oh, is he dead?
No.
Sick?
No.
Oh, is he gonna meet with an accident?
No.
Well, then what are we doing here?
Don't ask so many questions.
Hey, I gotta ask questions. I want to know all about this body you plan to hand to me.
You'll be fully informed in good time.
Well, what does he look like?
Like like 20 million.
Yeah, but what condition is he in?
Well, Joe, you must be prepared to sacrifice something for what you're getting. Surely 20 million is ample compensation for your body, no matter how in the pink it was.
Hey, like hell it is. I mean, there ain't nothing like having the old chassis running like clockwork, being in trim all the time, waking up in the morning and feeling like you could take out the heavyweight champ with just one punch. Now that's terrific. That's having something on the balls. Hey, we better duck. Somebody's coming.
Stop yanking me around. Can't you remember that we can neither be seen nor heard?
Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting that. Excuse me.
That's quite all right.
Mrs. Ames, I have everything right here.
Is there a baby in the family?
No.
Then what's the nurse for?
Oh, she's attending Farnsworth.
Wait, I thought you said he wasn't sick.
Well, he isn't really, just a rundown condition.
Oh, I ain't never had a rundown condition in my life. That's because
Yes, I know. You're in the pink.
Right. So, how long do we have to hang around here?
Oh, until I collect Farnsworth.
Oh, you mean he's got to go on account of his rundown condition?
No, he's being murdered.
Oh, holy... Jeez, you mean right now, the murder?
Yes.
What, here?
Yes.
In his house? Oh, jeez. Who's doing it?
Well, his wife and the man she's in love with.
Oh, nice bunch of people you want me to meet. How are they doing it?
Oh, they're drowning him in the bathtub.
Oh, jeez, Mr. Jordan, let's get out of here before we get mixed up in it.
Oh, wait, Joe.
No, I'm not waiting. I'll wait for you outside. I'm in enough trouble already. I'm keeping my nose clean. Look, Mr. Jordan, I'm not changing places with a guy who's got a wife like that hanging around. No, sir. I'm not punch drunk yet. How can you just sit there when you know a guy's being knocked off?
This is my job, Joe.
Well, you can have it. I mean, this place gives me the creeps.
It's almost over.
Well, call the cops.
Oh, I'm afraid they'd pay no attention to us.
Whoa.
It's all over.
It is? Was the nurse in on it?
Oh, innocently, yes.
Wait, how do you mean?
Well, you'll soon find out.
Who's this?
Tony Abbott.
The mug the wife's in cahoots with?
Oh, very much in cahoots with.
Jeez, women sure are funny. I mean, falling for a guy like him, what's he do?
Well, he's Farnsworth's confidential secretary. He'll be yours as soon as you're Farnsworth.
Like hell he will, because I ain't gonna be Farnsworth.
Mrs. Farnsworth, Joe.
Jeez, she don't look like a killer.
Tony, I'm frightened.
Steady.
I don't know what's so... I can't seem to shake this feeling that there's something weird. Something hanging over us. Something we can't see, watching us.
You said it, sister.
Perhaps a drink will steady you.
Yes.
Jeez, I'm as nervous as she is.
Now, we've nothing to fear. Everything will come off just as we planned.
Oh, yeah, that's what you think.
I mean, really, what could be more natural than after a glass of warm milk, a sleeping tablet or two, a very, very tired businessman should, unfortunately, drowse off in his bath.
Drowse off. Listen to the murdering SOB. Oh, excuse me, Mr.
That's
Jordan.
quite all right.
To 20 millions, my sweet.
And us.
Oh, yes, of course.
Come on, Mr. Jordan, grab Farnsworth's soul and let's get the hell out of here.
Very well, Joe, but there was a certain young lady
And
that I
Nix, I
wanted
want to have nothing to do with this bunch.
Wait, just give me
Miss Betty Logan is here to see Mr. Farnsworth.
Show her in.
Yes, sir.
Julia, get hold of yourself.
I'll be all right, Tony.
Now you know what she's coming for. Be cordial, sympathetic. You can afford to be now.
Hold me close, Tony.
Think only of what this means to us. Freedom, happiness. No more of his vile tempers. No more of his ridicule. No more hiding.
Whatever comes, I shouldn't be sorry. I couldn't have gone on another day.
I'll be in the study. Now, if she becomes difficult, you bring her in to me.
Jeez, those two must be in love. So is the dame that's coming in on the murder?
Well, judge for yourself.
Logan, ma'am.
Good evening, Miss Logan.
Good evening, Mrs. Farnsworth.
Gee, Mr. Jordan, I never saw anything in heaven like that.
Mr. Farnsworth will be right down. He's expecting you, my dear.
Wait, what's she talking about? Farnsworth dead, ain't he?
Oh, quite.
Well, then how's he gonna be right down?
Do sit down.
Thank you.
A drink,
No, thank you.
cigarettes.
Not just now.
That's right, kid. Don't take anything from that dame.
I just heard of your poor father's arrest. Too bad. But I wouldn't worry if I were you. I'm sure Mr. Farnsworth will be able to help you. He seems particularly susceptible where you're concerned.
Oh, I'm not here to ask for favors, Mrs. Farnsworth. My father is innocent.
Oh, of course. However, since he is the head of Logan and Company, and since he did float the Bay Ridge Securities,
He
one
was
can only
tricked by
see-
Farnsworth. But then you and Mr. Abbott know that as well as I do.
Oh, you're a bit hysterical, my dear. Surely your father's not a child. Surely he knew what he was doing.
He was in Europe at the time. He left everything in Farnsworth's hands.
Well, perhaps you better speak to Mr. Abbott about that. I'm sure he could convince you that your father acted solely of his own accord. I happen to know that it was strictly against the advice of my husband, but you needn't need take my word for it. Come.
Hey, I don't like to see that kid in there with those two killers.
Oh, she's perfectly safe.
Save my eyes. She's in trouble. She needs help.
Yes, Joe, very serious trouble. She worships her father.
Well, you fellas can do anything. Get busy. Help her.
It's entirely up to Farnsworth.
But he's dead.
Precisely. However, he wouldn't have helped her. The girl was right. Farnsworth engineered the entire affair. He tricked her father.
And you want me to be Farnsworth and have a swell girl like that hating me?
Everyone builds himself, Joe, through the architectural power of the soul. The power to weave a material into a fabric for its physical covering. Why, you'll make a very different Farnsworth, but spiritually there'll be no change in you.
Yeah, but she won't know that. I mean, she'll think I'm the same kind of rat he was. No, sir, Mr. Jordan. I want to help out, but not this way.
There is no other way, Joe.
Oh, jeez, you're putting me in a hell of a tough spot here.
On the contrary, you'll find it quite pleasant.
Oh, yeah? How do you figure? I'd have to give up everything. My chance at the title, my match with the bomber, my private life, everything. I wouldn't even be myself. And if a guy ain't himself, what good is he?
You'll always be yourself, Joe. Nothing can change that. You'll merely be using his physical covering like donning a new overcoat.
Well, it's got to be a pretty good overcoat to last me 60 years. Of course, I could build him up physically like I did myself, couldn't I?
Of course.
Yeah, plenty of exercise, plenty of...
I'm sure you'll do wonders with him. Your spirit will be young, vibrant, vital.
Hey, wait a minute. Will I fit him? I mean, will he fit me?
Well, as you are now, purely spirit,
Yeah?
I could put you inside a gnat.
Oh, come on, a big guy like me?
Very comfortably.
Oh, you fellas sure can do tricks with us.
Well, to understand the physical body, one must first comprehend the workings of the earthly body, discarding the atomic theory. and
Hey,
eliminating
look,
the
all I know
practical.
about my body is if I give it plenty of exercise, regular hours, lots of wholesome
Yes,
food...
I know it'll be in the pink.
Can't miss.
Now that you have seen the correspondence between your father and Mr. Farnsworth, perhaps you realize just how incriminating the evidence against him is.
There's nothing you can say or show me that will convince me that my father has done anything wrong. He couldn't. Now, will you tell Mr. Farnsworth I'm here, or must I go up to his rooms unannounced?
Don't do it, Miss Logan, or you get yourself mixed up in the killing.
I'll have you announced at once, Miss Logan.
Whether your father is guilty or not really isn't important. What is important is that you're here to, shall we say, intercede for him.
I will do anything to save my father.
Yes, I know. Anything.
You rang, madame?
Yes, tell Mr. Farnsworth that Miss Logan is here.
Very well, madame.
Hey, what's the idea? That dame knows Farnsworth is dead.
You haven't much time to decide, Joe.
You mean whether or not I want to be Farnsworth?
I mean whether or not you want to help that girl.
Oh, well, yeah, sure, I'd love to help her out, but I don't know if I want to be...
Hurry, Joe.
Hey, don't rush me. This is a pretty big step in my life, you know. Look, if I do it, it'll only be temporary, right?
If you wish it.
Yeah, better get that clear just till we straighten her out.
Oh, it's quite clear, my boy.
Okay, it's a deal.
Go.
All right, don't worry, Miss Logan. I'm moving into Farnsworth. Everything's gonna be all right, I hope. Hey, Mr. Jordan, I'm starting to feel different already.
I heard my beloved reserved a stateroom on the Ile-de-France sailing Wednesday. You'll accompany him, for your father's sake, naturally. Paris. Charming this time of year. All of the flowers in the bois. The pretty new clothes, the dancing, the music, divine, really. You must let me give you a list. There are so many enchanting places where he and I spent our honeymoon. I wouldn't want you to miss them.
Well, I see where I've overestimated you, Mrs. Farnsworth. I hardly thought you'd permit such an arrangement.
Why not? Wouldn't last. It never has. I know my husband. He's a fool for a pretty face, but you'd merely be another feather in his cap.
As you are?
Oh, you're round, Miss Logan. You're round.
Mr. Farnsworth will be right down, Miss Logan.
My name is Richard Lemen. Along with my partner, Deborah Franklin, we'd like to welcome you out to the final performance of the first production of our 6th season. I'm glad I got that right tonight. We want to thank you all for coming out to the park tonight, and at this point there's always a few things we remind our audiences of. First and foremost, we always thank the Edmond Parks and Recreation Department for allowing us the use of Liberty Park, and also for providing us with the portable facilities which they have located on the far end of the park. Please feel free to use those at any time during the production. However, we do request that for your convenience you use them at this intermission and while it's still daylight. It makes it a lot easier that way. Secondly, this is the first of 3 productions that we're doing here this year. Our next show is the musical comedy You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and it's based on the Peanuts comic strip. Opens July 8th. We do hope you'll come back and join us for that. And also on August the 12th, the American literary classic Our Town. We especially recommend that for high school age students. It is something that they study here in the Edmond school system, and we think this will be a great boon to them for their study next year. And last, but certainly not least, I'm sorry, there is one more note about that. We do want to remind you there are only 3 weekends of the productions this year. So basically what I'm trying to say is be sure you check your calendars and look in the newspapers and don't show up on a weekend that we're not here. Most of the seasons before this we've been out here every year, but we do have 2 weekends off between each show. So please check the calendars carefully. There's also a schedule printed on your program if you'd like to keep that. And now last but not least, we always remind our audiences that although there is no admission charge here, we subsist solely on your generous donations. So at the next intermission, our lovely production manager, Jana Hester, will be passing amongst you with a basket. Please give generously so that we can come back for years to come. We do suggest a $2 to $5 donation per person, including children, and that will help bring us back for many years to come. Thanks again. We hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Hey, Farnsworth fits me like a glove. This is great. I mean, he's a bit flabby here or there, but I'll soon fix that.
I told you you'd be perfectly comfortable.
Yeah, but I can't get it through my head that I'm him now.
Oh, you'll get accustomed to it.
I really look like him.
Of course.
Wait, maybe it's this red robe of his. Now?
You're Farnsworth, Joe, believe me.
I guess if a guy like you says it's so, it's so. But what gets me is I still feel the same, and I still talk the same. I don't feel any change.
Don't vex your mind about it, Joe. It is at once too simple and too complex for your easy comprehension. Inwardly, you haven't changed. You're still Joe Pendleton, but outwardly, you're Jonathan Farnsworth, believe me.
Oh, I believe you all right, but what about Mrs. Farnsworth? I mean, we won't be able to fool her.
Oh, you already have. Very successfully, too.
Yeah, I sure did, didn't I? I mean, when she came down, when she saw me come down out of that bathroom, she looked like she saw a ghost, huh?
Oh, it amounted to that.
Is the doctor still with her?
Yes, but she'll be all right. She's gradually getting over the shock.
Hey, what about Tony, my confidential secretary? He looked pretty pale around the gills, too, when I came down and said, "Hello, Betty. Good to see you again." I did that pretty good, don't you think?
You were superb.
Yeah, even Betty thought I was Mr. Farnsworth.
Of course.
But I told her to meet me here this morning and I get her father all straightened out, but how am I going to do it?
Oh, you'll find it a comparatively simple task.
No, I don't know about that. I mean, I'm not too bright, you know. How am I going to catch on to all this finance stuff? You know, stocks and bonds and debentures.
Debentures, Joe.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, Farnsworth's desk is full of that crap.
Your desk. You'll be surprised how easily it will all come to you.
All right, but you stick close to me till I get the hang of it.
I'll be glad to.
Hey, can you imagine how the police department would feel if this ever came out? I mean, here's a big financier drowned in his bathtub by his wife and her honey, and then he comes back to life and the cops never even knew he was sick. How do you guys do it?
Well, if there were no mystery left to explore, Joe, one would lose the spiritual joy of contemplating the workings of the universe. Life would be rather dull.
You guys have an alibi for everything. Did you just hear that?
Yes, I must go, Joe.
Oh, they're paging you, huh?
I'll be back.
Where'll I put this, Mr. Farnsworth?
You mean me?
Sure, Mr. Farnsworth.
Oh, yeah, just set it down over there.
Yeah, you know, I saw you there at the bag before, Mr. Farnsworth. You sure can make it dance.
Oh, that wasn't nothing. I mean, these joints are still a little bit stiff, you know. I wait until I'm back in form. Then I'll really make that pigskin yodel.
You certainly keep yourself in trim, sir.
I gotta. The bomber's no setup, you know, and I only got a short time to get ready for him.
Well, you look pretty good right now, Mr. Farnsworth.
Not good enough for the bomber. He's tough.
You mean you're gonna fight the bomber, sir?
You're bright, you are. I've been getting ready for him for 6 months, and I'll tip you off to something. I'm gonna lick the bejeez out of him, and then I'm gonna do the same thing to K.O. Murdoch.
Well, you know, you've got a reputation as a sportsman, and,
Yeah.
well, you're a swell polo player. I just never knew you went in for professional boxing.
Yeah.
I thought you were just a banker.
Oh, no, that's just something I took up lately.
Oh, kidding us now, ain't you, Mr. Farnsworth? I've been seeing your picture on the financial page for years.
Wait, you mean the sporting page? Hey, look, fellas, this picture you see of me in the financial pages, does it really look like me?
It's the still image of you, sir.
Well, I got another delivery I gotta make. We'll see, Mr. Farnsworth.
Good morning, Mr. F. Oh my, but you're looking like a new man today.
Yeah? How do you mean new?
Well, you're looking very fit.
Oh, I do, huh?
Remarkably so.
Where's that old dame that lets people in and out of this joint?
I'm afraid I don't understand you.
Oh, you don't? Well, get this. I'm on to you, and you and I are gonna tangle plenty unless you watch your step. Don't try any funny business with me. And stay out of my bathroom, understand me?
Really, Mr. F?
And cut that Mr. F stuff. Just get that old dame in here.
Of course. You mean Mrs. Ames. I'm beginning to be very alarmed about you, sir.
Yeah, why?
Well, all this, it's far too strenuous for your blood pressure.
Hey, my blood pressure's perfect. Why I used to give transfusions at the hospital once a week. The docs there said they'd never seen such blood.
Indeed. Oh, well, I wasn't aware of that fact.
Yeah, well, there's a lot around here you ain't in on.
You rang, sir?
Oh, yeah. Now get this, Mrs. Hooses, and get it straight. As soon as Miss Logan gets here, you let me know right away, understand?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And, what attire shall you be wanting this morning, sir? Mansfield wishes to know.
A top hat and morning suit, Mrs.
Hey,
Ames.
wait a minute. What kind of an outfit is that?
Well, you're opening the new bridge today, sir. You and the mayor are cutting the ribbon.
I'm cutting a ribbon? What the hell is this?
Now there's no getting out of it. The mayor insisted.
Now look,
A messenger has just brought your steamship tickets, sir.
Steamship tickets? What steamship tickets?
The Ile-de-France. You're sailing Wednesday.
Well, where am I going?
You didn't choose to tell me, sir. You merely told me to get you 2 tickets.
Wait, 2 tickets? Who's going with me?
Well, I really haven't the least idea, Mr. F.
Well, look, I got too much to do right here. Cancel them.
Oh,
And
but-
this ribbon cutting business is out, too. What do you think I am?
Oh, but Mr. F.
Oh, that reminds me. I gotta write a letter.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Right, okay. This letter is going to Jim Rafferty, manager, McGovern, Rafferty, and Blunt, Jersey City. Okay, start off like this. Dear boss, I want to apologize for smashing up the company plane, but it wasn't my fault, honest. You see, it happened kind of like this. I was passing over Toledo, playing some hot licks on my sax, when all of a sudden, some gimmick goes haywire, and before I know it, the plane is headed for a crash. Now, this dame I can't see hops on. She's a messenger from heaven. Oh, geez, no, cut that last part. Say, I was headed for a terrible crash. Yeah. Down I was going, like a bat out of hell. And just before I was killed, I was saved. Oh, Jeez, no, they'll think I gone screwy. Just before I was killed, the dame that hops on grabs my soul. Ah, the hell with it. Just say, I can't explain it exactly, and you wouldn't believe me if I did. But I want you to know I'll pay for all the damage I done. Sign it, yours truly, Joe. Oh, and add a P.S. P.S. I saved the sax. Did you get that?
Are you sure you're feeling quite well?
Hey, if you think there's something wrong with me, you can just put these on.
Oh, really, Mr. Farnsworth? Don't you think we'd better get to the business at hand? There's the very devil stirring out there. Oh, the Equitable Group demand a showdown. They want to know why you sold A&O 42 3.5s and then reversed your position on Air Carbide. Also, we've got to do something about the P&R debentures.
Yeah, the debentures, yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine about those.
Oh, you mean JP, of course.
No, just Jay. His name's Jordan.
Jordan?
Yeah, and I'd like you to meet him soon.
Well, I should like that very much, sir. Sometime. Oh, we have a memo here from Gibbons. He thinks we should go long. 10 million bushels July wheat.
Oh, he does he?
Yes, immediately.
Oh, geez, 10 million bushels of wheat, huh? Where are we going to put all that? How about 20 million boxes, cornflakes?
Have your little joke, sir. But seriously, we need it to hedge our June position.
Well, 10 million bushels of wheat, huh? I'll tell you what you do. Order us 1 million gallons of sweet cream. As long as we got that wheat, we might as well eat it. So, what else is on your mind?
But there are 100 things demanding your attention this morning, sir. There's the Tracy Collateral Trust, the Home State stock option warrants. We have the Southern Central merger. That's a real mess now. And the Rollins amortization.
Wait, I'm too busy to go into all this today.
Oh, but surely, Mr. F, you don't intend to
anything
ignore...
but getting that girl Betty, Miss Logan, straightened out. Now, what's all this about putting her father in jail?
Well, inasmuch as you engineered the entire affair, I really
Now,
don't
look,
think
I had nothing to do with it, and any guy that's got a daughter like Betty is all right by me. I don't care what he done. So you lay off him, understand me?
Jonathan!
Oh, excuse me. You feeling better after your faint?
Well, I'm all right, dear. It was just a dizzy spell, but I'm beginning to worry about you. What's the meaning of all of this?
Well, I gotta have a gym. I gotta keep in trim.
This is the living room.
Well, I don't need a living room. I can live in any room. I gotta have a gym, and this is the biggest room, so I took it.
You don't seem to be the same person this morning.
No? Who do you think I am? Take a good look.
Darling, you frighten me.
Yeah, you scare me, too.
And you know how much I worry about
Oh, I'll
you.
bet you do.
Now, please be careful. You mustn't overexert. Remember what the doctor said, your blood pressure, your heart.
Look, I'll have this body in the pink in a week.
Well, do be careful. I don't know what I would do if something would happen.
Hey, look, I've been having a pretty good workout here, and, I gotta go take a bath. And I don't need any help from you twos, understand me?
What do you make of it, this incredible change in him?
Well, the water must have affected his brain.
Oh, it's not Jonathan. It can't be.
Well, I'd be inclined to agree with you if I hadn't seen him come down out of the bathroom grinning like a hyena.
It's creepy. I get a cold chill every time I look at him.
I am none too comfortable about all this myself. I was certain he was dead. We held him under long enough.
What do you suppose this sudden mania is for all of this? Oh, he's playing a game with us. Oh, Tony, I'm frightened. We must do something. I can't stand to spend another night in this house.
There'll be no bungling it this time.
Mr. Max Levine is here to see Mr. Farnsworth.
Well, he doesn't know any Mr. Levine.
Well, shall I send him away, sir?
No, show him in.
Yes, sir.
So careful, darling. It might be one of Jonathan's investigators.
Well, we'll soon find out.
Mr. Max Levine.
Mr. Farnsworth!
I'm Mr. Abbott.
Glad to meet you, Mr. Abbott.
I'm Jonathan Farnsworth's confidential man.
Oh, then, maybe you can tell me what he wants with me.
Well, probably. Oh, that is, if you would be good enough to tell me what sort of business you're in, Mr. Levine.
Ah, me? I'm in the fight racket. I'm a manager. I manage fighters.
Oh, I can't imagine what my husband would want with a fight manager.
Well, nor I.
Ah, I see he goes in for the athletics. Maybe he's thinking entering the ring. You know, the squared circle.
Don't be absurd, my man. Now, if you will state your business, I will write you a letter.
Say, don't go getting snooty with me. I got a telegram from Farnsworth.
Max?
To be here, so
Oh,
I'm here.
Max, you son of a gun. It's so good to see you. Jeez, how you doing, huh?
You knows me.
Yeah, I don't know you, you dirty double-crossing bad... Hey, look, what do you think of the monkey suit, huh, Mug? This is just morning clothes. I got suits for mornings, afternoons, evenings. I'm a regular prima donna.
Your hat, sir.
Hey, listen, I just put this on for laughs. I knew he was coming. And you two, scram. I gotta talk private with my pal Max here.
How dare you speak to me like that?
Come along, Mrs. Farnsworth.
Honey, I don't know what's come over you this morning.
I'm okay, and the less you worry about me, the better I like it. Now beat it.
I'm calling Dr. Evans.
And don't go calling anybody either. Just leave me alone. Oh, jeez, that dame really gets my goat. So, take a good look at me, Max. Don't you know me?
Sure I knows you. Everybody knows you, Mr. Farnsworth.
Where your eyes, you dumbass. I'm not Farnsworth. I'm Joe Pendleton. You're Joe.
You're nuts, Mr. Farnsworth.
Look, Max, maybe I don't look like Joe anymore, but I swear I'm him just the same, and it's all your fault.
My fault?
Yeah,
What
if
did
you
I...
hadn't been in such a hurry to cremate my body, I wouldn't be in this spot now.
Now take it easy, Mr. Farnsworth. Your wife was right. You needs a doctor.
Yeah, well, you're gonna need one too, Max, unless you start listening to me.
Now listen, I'm a busy man. If you'll screw you something, I
Hey,
really think
you're just the guy I wanted to see. I want you to prove something. He's my manager, the guy cremated my body. Max, this is Mr. Jordan.
Ella, glad to meet you, Mr. Jordan. How's about a little drink? The three of us.
Yeah, sure, help yourself, Max. I forgot, you can't see him.
Maybe I will after I have a couple.
No, you can't see him because you ain't dead yet.
I ain't nuts either. Well, I got mine. There's yours. And if the third one disappears, I'm taking a taxi to the booby hatch.
Excuse me, Max. The messenger that fumbled the whole thing up just came in.
Sure, I sees him. He's got on a hi-hat and spats. Well, I can tell all you fellas have got a lot of business to talk over, so I'll just be mooching along now.
No, wait a minute, Max. You're gonna sit down right here until we talk this thing through. All right, what's the dope?
Haven't you told him yet?
No.
Well, the chief knows about the situation and he's storming all over the place. Well, you know how effectually he can storm.
Yes, go on.
And it seems this thing is far more serious than what we thought. You see, Mr. Pendleton was meant to be the world's next pugilistic champion.
Right, did you hear that, Max? I'm gonna be champ. I knew I could do it. I knew nobody could stop me. Oh, boy, you're gonna make a pile of tin with me. And you go burning up my body. I ought to slug you, you big ox. All right, tell me more.
Well, there's really nothing more to tell you, Mr. Pendleton. You know, I've been through every list I can think of trying to find a specimen whose physical and physical qualifications measure up.
Yeah?
I'm just in the doghouse until I make good my errand.
Well, you better shake a leg. I mean, I don't want to use this body any longer than I have to.
Right, well, I did find one specimen,
Yeah?
an Australian, a wrestler, a wild sort, but he'll be available very soon, drunk driving.
Oh, who is he? I'll tell him to lay off the liquor.
Don't you want him?
What's his weight?
198 pounds.
Oh, too heavy. What's his reach?
78 inches.
Hey, what do you think, Max?
Now, I think I ought to get the hell out of here.
Hey, what's the matter with you? You're gonna run out on $1 million? Now sit down. All right, I tell you what, you got me everything on this Aussie. Chest expansion, biceps, forearms, everything. And see what else you can dig up.
Yes, Mr. Pendleton.
Look, Mr. Jordan, I gotta get all this over to Max here. Make him understand what's happened. Believe I'm Joe Pendleton. He's a swell manager. I need him. I wouldn't feel safe in the ring without him. Can't you just let him see you, just as I can make him understand?
Well, you can do it yourself. Try.
Are you sure? Max, sit down here, Max. Now listen, Max. You remember those trips I used to make 3 times a week between Boston and Omaha? Well, this last trip, something went flooey, and the plane started to go down for a crash. Now, this dame that was just here, who you couldn't see on account of you're not dead yet, Oh, I forgot to tell you, she's a messenger. You see, they got a whole army of these dames running around collecting people. Well, with all the wars and everything, it's a pretty busy season. Anyway, this dame grabs me before I'm dead, and now she's got to make good. Get it?
Sure, I gets it. Now I'll tell you what you needs to get. A doctor, the best there is.
Now look, Max, I'm gonna make you understand if I have to pound you to a jelly. Now how would I know about this Joe if I'm not him? Look, you got 40% of me, right?
I have? Well, that's pretty nice, but since when did you give me a piece of you?
Well, since that time in Astoria, when you saw me put away Butcher Boy Mackenzie, you said I had color. I was what the fans wanted, like the Manasseh Mauler. And you got a sister named Rosie, who ain't married yet, but she's got 3 kids.
Hey, pipe down on that. Somebody might hear. How do you know about my family?
Because I'm Joe, you dope, and I can tell you a lot more. Like, for instance, that time on the boat to Albany when your wife Lena caught you.
Hey, who the hell are you anyway?
And that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm Joe Pendleton. I'm not in my body now on account of you being in such a hurry to burn it, you big stiff. But wait right here. I'll prove it to you. Remember this?
Oh, sure, that's Joe's.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe.
Hey, cut the phony tears.
Hey.
Now, this ought to prove to you I'm telling you the truth.
Where'd you get it?
It's mine, I tell you. Now, just listen. I'm going to play you something you always like to hear me play.
Just like coming from the dead.
Yeah, you think Farnsworth could play like that? Hey, and here's another thing. You remember our old grip?
Oh, my Lord! Joe!
Oh, jeez. He knows me. He knows me. Oh, come on. Talk to me, Max.
No, I'm not. It must be the hangover from last night.
No, it ain't Max. I'm Joe. You're Joe.
You're really Joe?
Yeah, just inside. Outside, I'm Farnsworth, the banker.
Well, how'd you get in Farnsworth?
Well, they put me in there after he drowned. But it's just temporary, just till I get a swell girl out of a jam. Oh, boy, and she got a lot of zing, Max. Ain't she, Mr. Jordan?
Yes, Joe.
Oh, say, maybe I'm in somebody else's body, too. I wonder whose body I'm in. Ask your friend. No, better not. If I am in somebody else's body, I don't want to know about it.
Hey, look, Max, if I'm going to be champ, I got to get in trim. You know, I don't want to lose my punch or nothing. You got to get busy and get me some fights. First, the Alabama Bomber. Then K.O. Murdoch.
Wait a minute. Maybe I think you're Joe Pendleton. Now, I said maybe. But it's going to be awful hard getting it over to the boxing commission. The regulations bar ghosts.
Hey, I'm no ghost. I'm not dead yet. I got 60 years to go yet, right? Hey, look, who's the logical contender for a match with the Bomber?
You was.
Yeah, I know I was, but who is now?
Killer Gilbert.
Match me with him.
You are crazy. Killer won't meet Farnsworth the banker.
Well, arrange it. Offer him dough. You can do it.
Oh, okay. And where am I going to get the dough?
Where's he gonna get the dough?
Well, from you. Write him a check.
Hey, I ain't got a button.
You keep forgetting your Farnsworth. Call your secretary. He'll make it out for you.
Are you sure it's all right?
I'm sure it's all right.
Okay, Max, how much you think you're gonna need to arrange the fight?
20,000.
Oh, jeez, that's a lot of dough.
It's worth it to arrange a fight for a ghost.
You rang, sir?
Yeah, send my secretary in.
Your secretary? I'll ask him to come right in.
Hey, wait a minute. Has Miss Logan been around?
Not yet, sir.
Well, you send her in just as soon as she gets here. Understand me?
Of course, sir.
I still can't get over you, Joe. A mug like you turned into a big shot like Farnsworth. Say, maybe Invisible Pal here can make me Rockefeller.
No, just stay the way you are, Max. Take my advice.
What do you want to fight anymore for, Joe? With all the Farnsworth dough, you got the whole world right in your back pocket. Why, he owns 5 or 6 banks. You can walk into anyone but...
Hey, what do you take me for? Look, I don't want any of his dough, and I don't want to be him any longer than I have to. Why, I'm going to make plenty of dough as soon as I'm champ. Boy, and I can't wait to climb back in the ropes. The fame, the dough, the roar, the crowds. It's swell, Max.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. F.
Are you sure it's all right?
It's all right.
Okay, look, I want to check.
Oh, of course, sir. What bank?
Huh?
What bank? Chase, National City, a Chemical, First Trust, a Guarantee?
Have I got money in all them banks?
But of course, sir.
Well, where have I got the most? I mean, this is a pretty big check.
Oh, how big, sir?
20,000.
You're joking.
Oh, geez, it must be too much. Can't you arrange it for less?
Not a cent less.
20,000's the amount. Maybe you're gonna have to write it out on 4 or 5 banks for all that dough.
Your account in each of these banks goes into the hundreds of thousands, sir.
Oh, jeez, it does?
To whose order shall I draw the check?
To his.
A name, please.
Max Levine.
Yeah, Levene.
Will you sign, please?
Oh, jeez, he wants me to sign it.
Go ahead.
Hey, I could get 20 years for this.
Sign it.
Look, I'm in enough trouble already. If I get gummed up anymore...
You won't.
All right, you stand back of me. How do you spell Farnsworth?
Oh, really, mister?
Just spell it.
F-A-R...
Hey, it's rolling right out.
N-S-W-O-R-T-H.
Hey, I never wrote like this before.
Will that be all, sir?
Yes, that's all.
Oh, please, sir, don't forget about the opening of the bridge this morning. And there is the Great Western
Yeah, just don't worry about it.
Very good. Shall I wait here or at the office?
Yeah, wait for me there, at the office.
Very well, Mr. F.
Say, what if the bank finds out a ghost wrote this?
Hey, how about that?
It's perfectly good.
If he says it's so, Max.
For 20,000, I'll even take your friend's word for it.
Miss Logan calling, sir.
Oh, she is? Oh, Max, this is the girl I wanted you to meet. Wait till you see her. Pretty as a sunset. Hey, don't just stand there like a hitching post. Send her in just as soon as these 2 gentlemen here leave.
Yes, sir. As soon as the 2 gentlemen leave.
Well, I better push along, Joe. See what I can do.
All right, Max, you get those matches set. I'm shedding Farnsworth just as soon as I get this girl straightened out.
Yeah, who do you think you'll be next?
I don't know. I mean, I could be anybody. These fellas can do anything with me. Why, I could even be Seabiscuit.
Who the hell wants to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and run around a racetrack? Say, I got an idea. Mr. Jordan, how's about making him Joe Louis?
Hey, yeah, that's the kind of guy I'm holding out for. Somebody like him.
Wait a minute. I almost forgot. I got something to say about this, Joe. I got 40% of you. I'll have to okay the change. Better tell Mr. Jordan that I gotta be in on it.
Yeah, Max is right, Mr. Jordan.
Oh, where are my brains anyway? I'm sitting pretty and I don't even know it. Look, Joe, how much has Farnsworth got? Cold cash.
About 20 million, I guess.
Yes! 40% of 20 million. I'm rich. Joe, we don't have to fight anymore. Look at
Max,
this
this ain't permanent.
Oh, jeez, the whole damn thing's got me screwy.
Yeah.
I'm going out and get drunk. I'll call you as soon as I snap out of it. So long, Joe. Say, Mr. Jordan, can I drop you off any place? No? Well, okay.
So, Mr. Jordan, you know everything, right? Well, will she like me?
Oh, very much, Joe.
Yeah, but I don't want her to like Farnsworth. I want her to like me, Joe Pendleton.
I understand.
Jeez, this is a tough spot. I mean, I gotta make this girl hate the guys she can see and like the ones she can't. How am I gonna do it?
Don't worry about it, Joe. Here she comes.
Well, here I am.
Hello, I'm sorry I couldn't talk to you last night.
Quite all right. Mrs. Farnsworth was good enough to tell me what you'd expect of me in return for helping my father. Well, you win. I know how useless it would be to appeal to your sense of justice. I will go away with you, but not until my father's completely clear.
Wait, don't worry about your father. I promise.
You
I'm gonna
promise.
Look, Miss Logan, I'm your friend. I'm the best friend you got. You have no idea what I gave up just so that I could meet you and help you out. Now, you just wait and see. So, is your father still in jail?
As if you don't know?
Oh, jeez, this Farnsworth sure was a rat, but I swear I'm not like him, Miss Logan. I ain't never given anybody a wrong deal in my life, and I'm not gonna start now. So you just tell me what you want me to do, and I'll do it.
You mean that? You really mean that?
You bet I do.
It's funny, you never talked like this before.
That's because I'm a different guy now. I can't explain it exactly. I mean, you wouldn't believe me if I did. And about this trip, I mean, about you going away with Farnsworth, that's out. You don't ever need to come here again or see him again. And I'll get your father straightened out right away.
I can't hope to understand what's in your mind. I don't know what's come over you.
If I told you, you wouldn't think I was right in the head. You'd probably be afraid of me.
For the first time, I'm beginning not to be. I've seen you smile before, and it always frightened me, but now it seems so warm and friendly and gentle.
Oh, jeez. I'm in a tough spot, Miss Logan. I need somebody like you. I'm awfully lonesome. I ain't got anybody. I ain't even got myself.
I don't know why, but suddenly I feel very safe with you. There's a sort of spiritual glow that wasn't in your face before, and your eyes, as if there was someone inside of them looking out.
Yeah, that's me looking out, Miss Logan, but I'm not going to be looking out much longer, just till I get your father out of this jam. Then I'm going to be somebody else. Maybe somebody you could like. Do you like fighters? Professional fighters, I mean.
I don't know. I never met one.
Yeah, you have. Pretty good one, too. You just don't know it yet. Look, what I want to tell you is that someday, pretty soon now, a fighter's going to come up to you and act like he knows you and say he's seen you before. But when he does, don't get sore. Give him a chance, because he's going to be telling the truth. And he'll be a pretty good egg, too. Look, what I want to say is that now that I found you, I don't ever want to let you go. And when I'm somebody else...
Miss Logan, I see you and my husband have had quite a little chat.
I'm not your husband!
Oh, Jonathan, really?
Well, no, we're not married!
What?
No, not spiritually!
Oh, for heaven's sake.
The Chemical National Bank is on the phone, sir.
Oh, jeez, they know the check is phony! Mr. George! I'm in a jam, Mr. George! No, not you! You get me gummed up again! Get your boss down here! Oh, Mr. George! Mr. George! Where the hell are you?
Here it is, Susie, right on the front page.
What's it say?
Well, listen to this. Financier fights Killer Gilbert tonight. Jonathan Farnsworth, Wall Street tycoon, meets Killer Gilbert at stadium in 15-round go. American Carbide calls hurried directors meeting. Wall Street agog.
You mean he's actually going to find a ring like he's Joe Louis or somebody?
Yes, that's just it.
Well, I'm not surprised. Not with what I've seen him do these past few weeks anyway.
Yeah, from the stock exchange to the stadium, from strapped trousers to strapped boxers, and these atrocities. From Oxford English to the slang of Jersey in one fell swoop. Why, it's idiotic.
He's possessed. That's what it is. He's got devils all up inside of him. There's a fighter and a musician. Each one of them trying to get a stranglehold on him.
After listening to those saxophone solos, I'm rooting for the fistic demon to gain mastery.
Yeah, well, all I know is I'm getting out of here in the morning along with Nurse before I start talking to this Mr. Jordan guy myself.
I'm not a betting woman, as you know, but it seems to me there's what my dear husband used to call an inordinate overlay in the odds. 8-1, Farnsworth doesn't last the first round. Strikes me more as an excellent investment than a sordid wagering proposition. Oh, what do you say, Susie? Shall we take a chance? My dear husband always wanted me to, but I didn't want to encourage him.
No, I don't want any part of it. Just when he gets in the ring, the musicians have to get the upper hand, and then where are we going to be?
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. But still, 8-1, Susie. And from the way I've seen the master thump the bag, I'd say that the fistic demon within should easily manage to gain mastery over the decidedly third-rate musician.
Yeah, but you can't depend on devils, Mrs. Hames. Oh, for heaven's sake, make a little noise when you come in the room, won't you? Sneaking around like that.
Will Mr. Farnsworth see Mr. Levine in here?
Yes, hurry and have him come in. You know his orders.
Where's Joe? I mean Mr. Farnsworth.
In the study, Mr. Levine.
Study? You mean the bathroom, don't you? Go drive me now.
I'll tell him you're here. Oh, I beg your pardon, Mr. Levine. But would you say Mr. Farnsworth has, a sporting chance in tonight's skirmish?
What do you mean a chance? He's a cinch. Have yourself a little bet down.
Oh, I shall, sir. Thank you.
Hey, Psst, Mr. Jordan, you here? Come on, Mr. Jordan, give me a break. I got a sweet little deal I'll cut you in on if you'll play ball with me. If you don't want to talk, just move a chair or something so they'll know you're around. Jeez, you're a tough guy to do business with. Is that you, Mr. Jordan? Come on, speak up, will you? After all, this ain't no comfortable position for a guy to be in. Oh, all right, if that's the way you want to play it, but here's the deal. Here's Joe sitting pretty with 20 millions in the bank. He can get himself punched silly getting to be champ, and what'll it get him? Yeah, certainly no 20 millions. Now look, I'm a businessman. I knows what's best for Joe, and after all, I got 40% of him. And he told me you can make him Mussolini, Seabiscuit, or anybody, but don't do it. He's a bit screwy at times, but, well, and if he suddenly decides that he wants to become Hitler, don't listen to him. That won't get him nothing. You've given him a swell deal, and as his manager and 40% owner, I'm satisfied to have him stay Farnsworth. So don't go hunting up any more bodies for him.
Good morning, Mr. Levine.
Oh, it's you.
Very interesting conversation.
Yeah, but a little one-sided.
Mr. Farnsworth seems to have the same habit.
He gets results, I don't.
Tell me, who is this mysterious Mr. Jordan that Mr. Farnsworth is constantly referring to?
You'll find out. Ah, good morning, Mrs. Farnsworth. Great day for the scrap, ain't it? They'll be hanging from the rafters. We're completely sold out. Oh, and look at the break I got him in the papers. Front page. Listen to this. Jonathan Farnsworth, Wall
I am
Street...
really not interested, Mr. Levine, in my husband's suddenly developed eccentricities.
Ah, well, that's too bad. He'd be tickled to death to see you in the other fella's corner.
Mr. Farnsworth has requested that you come up to his study.
Ah, still in there, eh? Why, the bum can't even read a telephone directory and he's in the study. Where is it?
If you'll be good enough to follow me, sir, this way.
Oh, you really should read this, my sweet. It puts the whole situation very neatly. Jonathan Farnsworth, Wall Street's problem child. What will the spectacular JF do next? In the face of industry's collective howls for retrenchment, the financier declares his enterprises are making altogether too much money and proceeds to remedy the situation by ordering the building of additional factories, doubling his payrolls, and declaring quarterly bonuses for all his employees. And not content with this generous nod towards the New Deal policies, he next offers to buy back at a premium the entire issue of the Logan debentures, despite its worthlessness and the fact that John Logan is now languishing in the county jail awaiting trial. And tonight he chooses to enter the professional arena, seeking
Stop it!
A few more weeks of this, my sweet, and you will be a pauper. NT&Q, Baylight and Power are being flooded on the market as quick as a ticker tape.
Oh, why haven't you done something to stop him?
Why haven't you? You've had ample opportunity, my sweet.
I haven't. He watches me like a hawk, never staying in the room with me alone for a minute, constantly on his guard.
Look at him. He's beautiful. Watch that rhythm. I wish my car ran like that.
Darling, surely you don't intend to go on with this preposterous pie.
You bet I do. And if you're smart, you'll lay yourself a little bet on me. Imagine those dumb clucks laying 8-1 odds that I won't last the first round. Why, I'll polish him off right from the bell. I'll name the round that'll stop him. The killer's a sucker for the left hook.
Yo, you do just like I told you. Don't box him. You ain't got a chance boxing.
Right.
He's got all that stuff pat.
Okay.
You need to coast. Wait for your chance and sock. You can take all I'll give you, but when you get in close, pick your spot and hit. And when you hit. Yeah, the killer's tough, but you can drop it.
Oh, yeah, I'll say I can. It'll be over in a minute flat. I'll stop him the same way I stopped Malone, which, if you recall, was no small-time stuff, Max.
That's true.
That St. Louis Cyclone was nobody's setup. He had class, but I kept eating a tattoo on his lunch till his legs felt like spaghetti.
Yeah, come on, you gotta weigh in.
That's right.
Just a moment, dear. I wanted to speak to you.
Yeah, I ain't got time. I gotta go weigh in.
Well, surely you could spare me a few moments.
Look, I can't talk to anybody before a fight. It gets me upset. Right, Max?
Right.
Oh, well, this is more important than a fight.
Hey, not to me. There ain't nothing more important.
Please, dear, won't you excuse us? Come along.
Hey, whatever you got to say, you can say it right here.
Oh,
If you will excuse me, will you join me in the foyer, Mr. Levine?
Stay here, Max. I ain't got any secrets from Max. Go ahead, spill it. What's on your mind?
well, darling, it's rather personal.
Well, then I don't want to hear it. Oh, come on.
Please, darling, this is important to both of us. I shan't keep him long.
Come along.
Wait, Max, wait.
Darling, you seem afraid of being in the same room with me.
I'll say I am.
Well, that's just silly. Come over here and sit with me just for a moment.
Look, I gotta go weigh in. The boxing commission.
Darling, don't you think it was time that we were honest with each other?
Yeah, that's just what I want to be.
Well, all right then. Stop trying to avoid me. Let's just talk this out straight from the shoulder. We can't go on like this.
Yeah, and we're not gonna. Right after this fight, we're splitting.
Are we?
Yeah, we don't belong together.
I'll never let you go, Jonathan. Despite this horrible change in you, which I cannot begin to understand. I want you. I want you desperately. I love you.
Oh, yeah, sure you do. Look, I'm dumb, but I'm not that dumb. I know Tony's nuts about you, and you're nuts about him too, which is fine with me, because I'm going to marry Betty just as soon as I can fix it. Yeah, I'm going to take it up with Mr. Jordan right after the fight. You'll soon be a widow, just like you wanted to be.
Will I?
Yeah, and don't try any funny stuff with me either. I'm on to you. First sign of trouble, I'm going to hang one right on your kisser. Get me?
Oh, yes, I do. Don't worry, darling. I'll be careful. Very careful. Next time.
Whoa, jeez, imagine that thing.
Well, you needn't worry about her, Mr. Pendleton. I bring you good news.
Look, you're nothing but bad news to me.
But not this time. Really, I found a truly superb specimen. I have everything that you asked for. Height, weight, reach, biceps, everything. You'll be just simply delighted.
Yeah, that's swell, but is he good looking?
I thought you were only interested in physical perfection.
Oh, yeah, I am. I mean, looks never meant anything to me before, but since I met Betty, I kind of want to be somebody who's not going to be too hard on her eyes, you know? Oh, you don't have to be Clark Gable, exactly, I mean, but somebody like him. Well, since I met her, she's way too important to my life. I don't want to take any chances on her giving me the go-by.
I see. Well, Mr. Pendleton, in that case, I'm just afraid
Jonathan!
Oh, hello, honey. I'm glad to see you. I was on my way to the stadium, then I was going to go by your place and pick you up.
Jonathan, I'm frightened.
Oh, there ain't nothing to be frightened about. The fight's in the bag.
It's not the fight, dear. I just can't shake the feeling that somehow I'm going to lose you. Jonathan!
Oh, lose me. Not a chance, baby. You got me for the next 60 years. Which reminds me, I know how long I'm going to be around, but I got to find out about you. I don't want to be here a minute longer than you are. Better get on that, Miss Messenger.
Better get on that, Miss Missy.
Let's not worry about the future, dear. I don't want to look too far ahead. I'm satisfied just as things are.
Oh, but things are going to get better, a lot better. There's going to be an important change in me.
How do you mean that, dear?
Well, you remember when I told you about someday a fighter coming up to you and saying, hello, Betty, and acting like an old friend of yours?
Yes.
Well, don't be surprised if it happens pretty soon now, right after your father's in the clear.
Is this fighter a friend of yours?
Oh, yeah, I'll say he is. He's the best I got. Be nice to him, honey, will ya? It's awfully important.
Well, of course, dear, only...
I even want you to try to more than like him.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Oh, I gotta memorize everything about you, honey. I gotta memorize everything, so no matter what happens, I won't forget you. Now look, don't worry, we got a great future ahead of us. You see, I got an in with a couple of people who make me anybody I want, so you just tell me the kind of fella you'd marry if you had your choice, and I'll be him.
That's the kind of guy you are, dear, just as you are. Don't ever change.
Hey, you mean you like me like this, like Farnsworth?
I love you. I wouldn't want anything changed about you.
And you'd marry me like this, you'd marry Farnsworth.
Of course, if I could.
Oh, yeah, sure you can. I mean, don't let Mrs. Farnsworth bother you. She don't mean nothing to me. Why, I just told her off right before you came in. After this fight, we're finished. She don't want me, she wants Tony.
Yes, I know.
So look, if you want me just the way I am, no changes, well, that's all right by me. And I'll tell them they can stop looking around for me and get back to their jobs. I'm going to keep Farnsworth, and I'll call the whole thing square.
You know, I do wish you'd have told me about this sooner, Mr. Pendleton. Mr. Pendleton, I have been through hell and back trying to make good my error. Fine. You know, I can report back and I can say this whole entire matter has been satisfactorily closed.
Oh, I'll say it has, and thanks for all you done for me, too.
Oh, don't mention it, Mr. Pendleton. And good luck to you, my boy, because I'll be back for you in 60 years.
I just felt a cold chill. Hello, Miss Logan. Say, any of your pals around?
Oh, one of them just left, but I'm finished with those fellas, man.
Good. Now let's get going before the boxing commission decides who's gonna forfeit the fight.
Oh, okay, you take Betty down to the car. I'm gonna grab my sacks. I'll meet you there.
Come on, Miss Logan.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Mr. Jordan, what's on your mind? I'm kind of in a hurry.
I'm afraid I've some bad news for you.
Hey, look, didn't that fella tell you that I'm satisfied to call this whole thing square? I'm gonna keep Farnsworth.
Yes, Joe, that's why I'm here. You can't use Farnsworth's body anymore.
What?
I'm sorry, Joe, but he's been howling about it to the registrar ever since you got into it.
Oh, he has? Well, what's he got to squawk about?
I just telephoned the boxing
I was
commission.
on my way when Mr. Jordan came in.
Why don't you tell those fumble bums to stop bothering
I
you?
did.
What does he want now?
He says I can't use Mr. Farnsworth's body anymore.
Does he expect you to fight without a body? Where is he? I'll talk to him.
He's up in the ceiling.
Look, Mr. Jordan, Joe's got a tough fight on tonight, and I don't want him upset.
There isn't going to be any fight.
What?
What did he say, huh? What did he
He
say?
said there ain't gonna be a fight.
Oh, he's nuts. We got $20,000 up.
What's the idea, Mr. Jordan?
Farnsworth objects. He abhors pugilism.
What did he say? Let me in on this.
Tell Mr. Levine to call off the fight, Joe.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Jordan. Wait a minute. Now, you fellas got me up enough. You put me in this spot, and I'm gonna stay put. You can tell Farnsworth that he can...
Joe, orders.
Oh, yeah? Well, just try to pry me loose.
Loose from what?
Never mind. Come on, Max. Oh, jeez. I'm stuck. I can't move, Max.
What do you mean you
I
can't
don't know.
move?
Something's holding me back.
Come on.
Oh.
What's the matter? You nailed down or something?
Okay, cut the clowning, Mr. Jordan.
Oh, jeez. If he pulls a trick like that on you in the ring, you's a dead pigeon.
Look, Max, you go down to the stadium with Betty and tell the boxing commissioner I'll be a little bit late, but I'll be there. And I'm going to fight tonight, too.
Nix, I'm sticking around to protect my rights. Look, Mr. Jordan, Joe and I are satisfied as things are. Farnsworth suits us fine. We don't want no change, understand? Joe's been in training, and he's got the guy's body in great shape.
Yeah, in the pink.
In the pink. So, just forget the whole thing. We're not switching. Oh, and another thing. After tonight's scrap, we're through with the fight game.
Hey, like hell we are.
Hey, listen, Joe, I'm managing you, ain't I?
Well, yeah, sure, Max.
You know I won't steer you wrong. Take it from me, it's a lousy racket. All right if you need the dough, but when a guy's got 20 million...
Hey, that's not my dough.
It's Farnsworth, ain't it? And you're Farnsworth. And I got 40% of whoever you are, so that gives me something to say.
Yeah, sure, Max, but you're forgetting I'm still Joe Pendleton. I don't want any of that guy's coin. Besides, me and Betty are giving it back to the guys he swiped it from.
Are you nuts? Giving away 20 million sabbats? When do I come here?
Well, you're gonna make plenty of dough with me, Max. You just gotta keep getting me fights. I gotta get to be champ, so I can ask Betty to marry me. I can't do that until I'm making enough money to support her.
Listen to him. He's got 20 millions, and he's worrying about supporting the wife.
Leave it alone, Max. I gotta do it my own way. Now, you get Betty and go down to the stadium. I'll meet you there after I settle this with him.
Yeah, Joe, but I really
Look,
think
Max, you can't talk to Mr. Jordan, and you can't see him, so you can't help me out.
Well, if that's the way you want to do it. But stand pat, understand?
Oh, jeez.
I mean, don't jeopardize my interests.
All right, you just leave it to me, Max.
Okay. You's a fine fella to do business with.
All right, Mr. Jordan, let's you and me settle this thing for keeps.
It's not up to me, my boy. There's no reasoning with Farnsworth. He's as difficult up there as he was down here.
Well, what's he belly aching about? I mean, I was taking better care of his body than he was. I got it in swell shape. He ought to be tickled.
Well, he doesn't like what you're doing with his money. Giving it away, that seems to hurt him even now.
Well, what good is it to him, the no-good crook? Now, look, Mr. Jordan, that louse never made an honest nickel in his life. Why, he ought to be in jail instead of where he is now. Why, look, it's going to take me 5 years just to square things for him.
All that will be adjusted, my boy, but you've got to get back on your own road. All mankind has his own particular beam of light, his own place in the sun. This is not for you.
Hey, I ain't doing so bad. I mean, in a month or so, I'd have got the hang of things and showed those big shots on the street just what to do with money. I'd have shown them how to spread it around so everybody could get a break.
I'm sorry, Joe. This arrangement cannot stand.
Now, look, I don't want any more trouble with you boys. I got Betty loving Farnsworth, and that's how it's gonna be.
On the contrary, Joe, I want to clear it up for you.
Just leave it alone. It's okay as is. I'm taking no chances. I had a hard enough time getting Betty to love this rat.
You are no more able to change the course of what's to be than you can stem the waves of the sea with your hand or stay the sun in the midst of heaven.
Is that so? Well, you just let somebody try to separate me from Farnsworth and see what happens. Goodbye, Mr. Jordan. Oh, jeez. Who got me? I bet it was Mrs. Farnsworth. Call the cops!
Don't fight it, Joe. You must leave Farnsworth. This is not for you.
Oh, good Lord, have I got him on my hands again?
Now look, I'm a conscientious fella. I haven't got an ounce of imagination. The only way I break a case is to cover every possible angle. Collect all facts, that's how I work, methodically. That's why I've got to know everything Mr. Farnsworth did last Friday, the day he disappeared. What he ate for breakfast, what he said, how he slept the night before. I even want to know if he cleaned his teeth that particular morning. Everything. Little facts point big fingers. So, we're going to start all over again.
Oh, no.
Mrs. Farnsworth, I wish you'd start by telling me...
I have already told you everything that I know.
So tell me again. Maybe I missed something. Or maybe somebody forgot something.
Yeah, you're gonna find this the damnedest case you've ever tackled. You'll never crack it without you calling a spiritualist.
Will you shut up? Everything has been checked and cross-checked. Every morgue, hospital, rooming house, hotel, railroad, steamship, and airline has been covered. Nothing has been overlooked. And yet there is not a single trace. Why, even the large reward has brought no clue of him to light.
Hey, psst, Joe, you here? Oh, for Pete's sake, where are you? Who are you now? Come on, give me a break.
What the hell are you doing?
I'm looking for Joe.
Who's Joe?
He may be anybody, I don't know. Hey, Joe! Hey, Joe, you here? Hey, are you Joe? Hey, psst, Joe! Hey, Joe!
Maybe we better call the psychopathic chief.
Levine, are you going to sit down?
Not till I find Joe or his pal Jordan.
Who's Jordan?
He's the guy who put Joe in Farnsworth's body.
Oh, sit down.
I'm afraid to sit down. I may be sitting on Joe.
Miss Logan, you and Mr. Levine were sitting in Mr. Farnsworth's car outside the house waiting for him?
Yes.
You were going to the stadium to see him weigh in for his fight with Gilbert.
Yes.
And you never saw or heard from him since?
No.
Now when you last saw him, what was he doing?
Arguing with some guy from heaven.
You don't have a clown.
You'll be as nuts as I am after you's on this case a couple of days.
Mrs. Farnsworth, I needn't point out to you, nor to Miss Logan here, how important it is that you should help me.
Go ahead, Mrs. Farnsworth. Tell the inspector everything. You've nothing to fear. Not a thing.
I can only repeat that my husband's disappearance is neither mysterious nor does it surprise me in the least. Not in view of his actions for several weeks previous, or his conviction that he was a fighter, giving away all his money.
He wasn't giving it away, he was making restitution.
Oh, restitution? Farnsworth? Oh, really, Miss Logan? I don't believe you quite knew him.
I knew him better than any of you. He was fine and good and lovable.
Surely you couldn't be referring to my husband, Miss Logan.
Don't worry, honey. I'll be back with you.
The last time you talked to your husband, was your interview friendly? No quarrel of any kind?
It was amicable.
Amicable? How do you mean that?
He told me that he was in love with Miss Logan, that he wanted to marry her and wanted a divorce.
Yeah, I guess that's why she shot me.
I see.
Yous can say again, but it won't get yous anything.
Miss Logan, if Mr. Farnsworth is alive, you feel sure he'd communicate with you?
I know he would.
Oh, you bet I would, honey.
Perhaps he's lost interest. Another pretty face. You know, I warned you about that.
He was murdered, I'm sure of it.
She's telling you right, Inspector. Listen to her.
I believe Mr. Farnsworth wanted to create exactly that impression. You see, certain rather ominous transactions, particularly the Gulf Oil project, bear out my belief that Mr. Farnsworth chose to mysteriously disappear rather than face probable investigation.
That's a lie.
Well, if he is dead, as you say, where's his body?
Last time I saw it was in your trunk.
Oh, of course. Mrs. Farnsworth could have cut it into little pieces, stuffed it in a trunk, flown out over the Atlantic, and fed it to the fishes.
Stop it! Stop it!
Oh, geez, they're killing Betty. What's taking Jordan so long?
Well, he's up with the registrar trying to get you straightened out.
Well, he's been up there all week. How long does he think I can run around here without a body?
Patience, Mr. Pendleton, patience.
This whole thing's got me screwy. I uses every trick I knows to get him matched with Killer. I get thrown out of every newspaper office in town before I convince him I'm managing Farnsworth. I run my damn can off. I don't sleep nights. I don't eat. And what do I wind up with? 40% of a ghost, 40% of nothing, and I can't even find that.
I'm sorry, Max.
Look, you think you're looking for Farnsworth, but you're really looking for Joe. Farnsworth's dead.
Knew it, I knew
He was drowned in his bathtub by his wife and that guy there 3 weeks ago.
You're mad.
You bet I am. I'm madder than hell. Why shouldn't I be? I've been all over this town looking for Joe. I've been to the racetrack, the zoo, and the aquarium. I've asked every horse, monkey, and fish if they was Joe.
Get hold of him, Inspector. He's apt to get violent.
Let go of me, flatfoot.
I just can't stand here and watch Betty cry. Come on, let's go.
Where?
Up to your joint. I'm having it out with this registrar myself.
Well, it's not the registrar that's holding you up. It's Farnsworth.
Oh, yeah? Well, we'll see about that. Come on.
Very
Wait a minute. I'll be right back.
So Farnsworth was drowned in his bathtub, was he?
Yeah.
3 weeks ago?
Right.
And he's only been missing a week.
I don't care. That's what he told me.
Who told you?
Joe, I mean Farnsworth.
And just when did he tell you this? Before or after he was drowned?
After.
Take him to the psychopathic.
Julia, be careful.
Well, what was all the screaming about?
I don't know. Is that crazy maid? Come on.
Where are you two going?
Oh, so you finally showed up. What's the idea of leaving me like this?
I've been busy with Farnsworth.
Well, did that take you all week?
But I had my other duties to take care of. Joe, report back.
Yes, sir.
Now look here, never mind your other duties. You get me straightened out first.
Patience, my boy, patience. I have prevailed upon the registrar to intercede for you. Now, undoubtedly, he'll win Farnsworth over. He has more persuasive powers than I have. But don't worry about it, Joe. I promise you shan't be cheated. Everything will be accounted for in the final reckoning.
Yeah, by the time you fellas get me fixed up, I'll be due back at your joint.
Well, you'll live your full life, Joe. That can't be denied you.
Look, all I want is Betty. Fix that and I'll call the whole thing even.
Well, I expect a flash at any moment. Now, if it's favorable, you'll be Farnsworth again.
Yeah? Is the body in still good condition?
Oh, excellent. It's in the refrigerator at the moment.
Oh, well, geez, get me out of there. I'll freeze to death.
I tell you, I saw it with my own eyes. I was cleaning the master's room like I always do, and I just got around to wiping off the saxophone when somebody or something, he snatched it out of my hands and he was chasing out of the room.
You're crazy.
No, she ain't. It's Joe. He's here. Look, his saxophone.
Hey, leave that
What of it? He wasn't here before. I tell you, Joe's in this room with us. Hey, Joe, where are you? Who are you? Come on, say something. I'm going screwy
So
here.
am I. Now sit down and let's get on with this investigation.
Look, Mr. Jordan, I was supposed to take Betty to see the fight tonight. You know, Murdoch and Smallings, but I can't go if I don't have a body.
Well, you can see it if you wish.
No, I don't want to go without her.
Would you like to hear it?
Well, yeah, sure, how?
Well, the radio, it's on the air now. It just started.
Oh, jeez, I hate to miss it. I wish one of these dumb clucks would turn the radio on. Here it is, the biggest fight of the year, and they're wasting their time looking for me.
Well, Mr. Levine will turn it on if you concentrate on him.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right, I'm concentrating. Max, turn on the radio, Max.
Holy smoke, I almost forgot. It's 10 o'clock. The fight's on.
What'd you do that for?
I don't know, I had to.
It worked. Can you get people to do things just by concentrating on
Well,
it?
it depends on what you want them to do, Joe.
Clean that off.
Now Murdoch is crowding Smallings to the ropes. Murdoch shoots from the right cross. A left jolt to the chin. Smallings' eye is swelling. Murdoch looks over left, a right, another left to Smallings' jaw. All powerful goes into the mark of the speed and accuracy of a bullet. Smallings lands one on Murdoch's side, but it glances off. Murdoch comes back with a right cross. A left jab, then sends a hammer fist jab to Smallings' chin.
Murdoch is dynamite. I know his style like a book. You see, he keeps that left curled up over his chest like it's asleep. Then all of a sudden, wham, he lets fly.
I thought you said he was just a palooka, that he couldn't hit the side of a house.
Oh, yeah, well, he just got lucky, I guess.
Smallings isn't in this at all. Murdoch swings just as he pleases with him. He jolts Smallings with a short right, rips over a left to the ribs, which unbalances Smallings. Infuriated, Smallings swings wildly but can't touch Murdoch. Now Murdoch prods Smallings to the rope, sending the most punishing blows the man's ever taken. Smallings is down, from a smashing blow to the head that lifted him clear off his feet. He looks finished, lying there completely limp as the referee.
That can't be all luck, Joe.
Oh, well, yeah, sure it is. I mean, it's a setup. Smallings is a pushover.
Murdoch is a great fighter, and you know it. In your heart, you admire and respect him very much. You would even like to be like him.
Oh, who, me? Be like Murdoch? Oh, please, don't make me laugh.
He's up! Smallings is up! Murdoch rushes over. They exchange a few harmless blows. Now Murdoch is down.
There, what I tell you. Listen.
What seemed a harmless tap on the side of the head. Hardly strong enough to throw him, but Murdoch went down like a shot.
Hey, I wonder what happened. I mean, Murdoch was going like a buzzsaw.
He's dead, Joe.
Oh, what? Are you crazy? I mean, you heard him. He was knocking Smallings around like he was a tin pin. Murdoch's made like a solid chunk of rubber.
He was shot. He has a bullet in his heart. He was told to throw the fight, and he refused.
Oh, why, those dirty, slimy skunks. I mean, knocking off a swell guy like Murdoch. Well, didn't they hear that shot?
Well, not with all that noise.
Jeez, they're counting over a dead man. Can't they tell?
They won't know until after he's counted out, Joe.
Poor K.O. Murdoch. They didn't come no better. A clean fighter, a swell guy. He was a credit to this game. You were right, Mr. Jordan. How I really felt about him? Jeez, he was my idol.
Of course he was, Joe, but his job was done. Everybody goes when that's done. And the job maybe to have only dreamed of few notes of music, or for a baby to have laughed in the park and romped in there, or for two lovers to have had that one perfect day. That is enough to die on.
Jeez, I sure would like to get those guys. I mean, they would give this game a black eye. You know, I wish I could do something. I wish I could be in there, Mr. Jordan, finishing the fight for him. I'd like to be him for just 5 minutes.
You can, Joe.
You mean?
If we hurry, we could just make it.
Yeah, come on. I'll be right back, Betty.
Check this out! He's up like a rocket, full of fight. It's amazing. He's landing like a dead man, and now he's on his feet. Smallings rushes him and is met by a staggering right from Murdoch. A left, a right, another left. Smallings rocks dizzily. Murdoch jabs attacks to Smallings' chin, and down he goes. Now Smallings is down. And there goes the bell, saving Smallings from what looked like a sheer knockout. What a fight! What a comeback from Murdoch! He looks finished and suddenly comes up like a dynamo. Ladies and gentlemen, this battle will go down in history as the most sensational
where are you
battle of all
going?
time.
I'm following that saxophone!
Yeah. How you doing, K.O.?
Oh, man.
Gee, you put up the greatest fight of your life.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, just as I was thinking you was a goner.
Yeah?
You get up like a rocket on the count of 9, boy. I'm proud of you.
This guy Murdoch is the best.
Hey, I'll say you are.
No, not me. I said Murdoch.
Hey, say it any way you like. You're champ now. That's all that matters.
Yeah, poor K.O. Murdoch. I sure hope he's glad I did this for him.
Hey, K.O. Oh, look what they found under your stool.
Hey, give me that.
Whose is it?
Right, it's mine.
Since when did you play the
Hey,
sax?
I always play it.
I never heard you. Oh, you must have been practicing in secret, eh?
Oh, yeah.
But how to get in the ring? You didn't have it when you climbed in. You know, there's something funny about this, K.O. I don't get it. I don't get you either. I mean, come on, we're pals. We never hit anything from each other. What the hell's got into you? You're feeling all right, ain't you?
Well, yeah, sure. I feel swell.
There's a funny, faraway look in your eye. I don't like it. What are you thinking about?
Poor K.O. Murdoch.
Oh, cut it out.
He
will
won
ya?
the fight. He's champ.
Sure, you're champ, but we're all set to clean up.
Hey, hang on to the dough, Lefty. You ain't gonna be making much more.
Oh, you're crazy. Here's where we start making the big money.
Murdoch is through.
Oh, what are you talking about, K.O.? You're perched on top of the world.
Hey,
here.
I ain't perched any place. I don't know where I go from here.
I do. Nothing can stop us now, K.O., but I don't mind telling you, I'm glad it's over. I was getting pretty worried.
Hey, I wasn't.
Hey, not that you wouldn't win the fight. That was
Right,
in the
yeah.
bag all the time. I mean about those, the gorillas. You know, remember what they said? I was scared stiff they were gonna pull something funny.
Yeah, they did, and it wasn't funny. They shot Murdoch. Look.
Holy cats! Oh, no wonder you're talking delirious. Lie down. I'll get the doctor.
I'm
Don't
all
worry.
right. Oh, jeez.
Where'd you get that sax, Murdoch?
Oh, come on, Max. You never know me.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm me.
Joe!
Yeah.
What are you doing in Murdoch's body? Come on, get out of it.
What kind of screwy talk is that?
I'm lucky I'm able to talk at all.
Hey, take it easy, Max. I just borrowed Murdoch's body just so I could help him out.
Help me out, will you? Stop jumping from body to body. Stay put.
Yeah, sure, Max. But see, these gorillas, they shot
K.O.'s
Murdoch.
delirious, Lavinia. He was just shot.
Oh,
Where?
yeah,
Let's see.
do this. It don't bother me none.
Yeah, that's a fine-looking body you got in
Yeah,
there.
not bad,
Now,
huh?
K.O., the doc will be here right away.
Look,
okay?
I don't need a doctor.
Oh, hey, Doc, this way.
I think I'm gonna need that doc, too.
No, everything's gonna be right just as soon as Mr. Jordan gets here.
Here he is, Doc.
Oh,
Say,
I don't need you. This is
how's your heart, Lefty?
I ain't got any.
Ah, you're lucky. I was just gonna break.
Oh, you got no business here, Levine.
That's what you think.
Look, Doc, go home. I don't need you. Scram.
Be reasonable, K.O. You got a bullet in you, ain't
How
you?
many times I gotta tell you Murdoch got the bullet?
Examine his head, too. He's out of it.
Just let me have a look at the wound.
All right, but don't go taking it out until after I'm out of this body.
You intend to leave this body?
Well, yeah, I don't belong in it.
Holy rock of my K.O. Please, Doc, do something here.
Well, partner,
I wouldn't be partners with you and an unborn flea.
I'm laughing.
Oh, get out of here, Levine. I got enough trouble.
Don't be so optimistic.
Oh, you're nuts.
You're giving me information.
Levine, about that saxophone you were following?
Here it is, and there's the body you was looking for.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, he's Farnsworth.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, only I'm not using Farnsworth's body right now.
And just whose body are you using?
Murdoch's, but I'm really Joe Pendleton.
And who am I?
Jesse James?
Could be.
Oh, don't pay any attention to Murdoch, Inspector. He was just shot. And the doc's probing for the bullet now. You find it yet, Doc?
Yes, it's in his heart.
Holy mackerel!
Oh, he's dead.
Oh, I was once for a while, wasn't I, Mac?
Hey, sure was, because I cremated his body.
Somebody talk sense around here.
You just don't understand.
Cops are just a bunch of Gracie Allens.
Listen to me.
Just keep still and I'll settle the whole Farnsworth case for you. Go ahead, tell him what happened.
Yeah, tell me.
All right, don't waste your time looking for Farnsworth. Get after the lugs that knocked off Murdoch. Farnsworth will be fine just as soon as I get him out of the icebox and get into him. I'll invite you all to his wedding.
Oh, this is a fine time for you to go nuts on me, just so we cap the title.
And that reminds me, Lefty, I get a 40% cut on the receipt.
Oh,
Max is right, Lefty, and don't call me nuts.
Hey, Doc, give me some aspirin.
Well, Inspector, now that the case is all cleared up,
Oh, yeah, sure it's all cleared up. Farnsworth is in an icebox, and Murdoch is gonna get into him and invite us all to his wedding. Right, that clears it up fine. Now, I'm going to do a little clearing up, and I'm gonna start with you, Levine.
All right, Inspector, hold off. Max had nothing to do with it. It was Mrs. Farnsworth and Tony that shot me and put me in that icebox.
Oh, who wants to buy a screwy fighter? Cheap!
Oh, hey, Mr. Jordan, you're just the guy I want to see. All right, look, fellas, scram. I gotta talk private with Mr. Jordan.
Take it easy, K.O. Take it easy.
Scram, Lefty.
We can't leave you alone in your condition.
Hey, my condition is perfect. I'm in the pink. Now, are you fellas gonna leave, or do I have to throw you out?
I am not leaving here till I make
Maybe we
everything
gotta go, Inspector.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. All right, fella, we'll go. But don't try sneaking off with Jordan, because I'm gonna come back here with a nice little present for you. A nice little jacket you'll be crazy about.
Well, that's all right, Inspector. You don't have to bring me anything, but thanks, just the same.
Don't mention it. Come on, Doc. You too, Levine.
Nix, I'm in on this deal. I gotta see that Jordan puts Joe back in Farnsworth's body. So he's
I
able to
know,
go ahead
but
and
first
marry
I'm gonna put you into a little something there. Come on.
Boy, I sure am glad to see you, Mr. Jordan. Did you see the fight?
Oh, yes, Joe, you did a nice job. You made Murdoch very happy. He's grateful to you.
How is he?
Oh, fine.
Swell.
Oh, you fought beautifully,
Yeah?
cleanly, scientifically. You
Yeah.
made it an art.
I'm back in my old form again, huh?
Yes, this is your niche, Joe. This is where you belong, where you were meant to be. World champion.
No, not me. Murdoch is. I mean, I'm glad I did it for him, Mr. Jordan, but geez, get me out of this.
Joe,
Yeah?
the registrar couldn't do anything with Farnsworth.
You mean I can't have him back?
Farnsworth is adamant.
Well, what about me and Betty?
You won't be cheated, Joe. Nobody is really. Eventually, all things work out. Why, there is design in everything. In the wing of an insect, in the bill of a bird, the eye of an eagle. Everything has a perfect balance. It's no good grafting one tree or flower to another of another nature. The lines of distinction are clear and the limitations inflexible. You and Murdoch are one. You belong to each other. This is where you belong. You're now back on your own road.
Nix, it's no good without Betty. I don't want those 60 years if I can't have her.
You'll have everything that was ordained for you, Joe.
Look, Mr. Jordan, a guy meets a girl like her once. I'd be proud to be Murdoch, to carry on for him, keep his name clean like he would. But I got Betty loving Farnsworth, and I gotta be him or else I lose her. Now look, you just wait right here. I'm gonna go take a shower. I got an idea. I'll go talk to Farnsworth myself. You know, I should have done this for myself from the beginning. You guys fumble everything up. Just wait right there.
Goodbye, Joe. Good luck, K.O. Murdoch.
Where is he? Hey, in the shower.
Oh, tie that, will you? Taking a shower with a bullet in his heart.
Hey, with that guy Jordan around, don't be surprised no matter what happens.
Say, you're as nuts as Murdoch.
Well, nuts or not, he knew what he was talking about when he told me Farnsworth was in an icebox. My man found him. Frozen stiff.
Yeah, what did they do with the body?
It's down in the morgue.
Yeah, tell him not to touch it. Joe needs that body.
What for?
To get married in.
Ah, now don't start that again.
Jeez, I better tell Joe.
Oh, you feeling better, K.O.?
Yeah, kind of funny, Lefty, kind of funny.
Yeah, I'm surprised you ain't collapsed.
The inspector found Farnsworth's body in the icebox and they took it down to the morgue. You and Jordan better hustle right down there.
Stay out of this, Levine. You know, you may be cuckoo as hell, Murdoch, but you certainly steered me straight on the Farnsworth case. I telephoned my man, and he found him, just like you said. And what's more, we got a confession out of Mrs. Farnsworth and her boyfriend. But, you were wrong on one thing, Murdoch. Farnsworth is in no condition to get married.
You fellas must have him mixed out with somebody else. I don't know any Farnsworth, and
No.
I don't remember talking to you.
Now he's lost his memory.
Who is this guy, Lefty?
He's a police inspector, K.O., remember?
No, what's he want?
Never mind, get dressed. I gotta take you to the hospital.
Hey, are you crazy? I gotta jump in the ring in a few minutes. Oh, and I'm in better shape than I ever been in before. Why, I'll chop him down just like I did Pugsy Waller in Chicago.
You already chopped him down. The fight's over. You're champ.
It is? And I'm champ?
Sure, K.O.
Oh, jeez, I don't remember anything.
You remember this, don't you? Oh, what happened?
Well, to what?
The bullet. Doc said it was right in your heart.
Oh, jeez, you must have had one too many.
Oh, no, I tell you, I saw it, K.O. They saw it too, didn't you, fellas?
I think I did.
Oh, don't hedge. You know you did.
Well, it's not there now. There's not a mark on it.
This never happened
Oh,
to
it
me.
must be that guy Jordan. Where is he, Joe?
Why are you calling me Joe and I don't know any Jordan?
Well, if he ain't shot, there's no use in me hanging around anymore. So, goodbye, fellas.
Take a look at me, Joe. Take a good look.
Why would I want to look at you?
Who am I?
Don't you know?
I have my doubts. You tell me.
You're Max Levine.
Yeah? And who are you?
K.O. Murdoch.
You're sure?
Listen to this guy, Lefty.
Are you anybody else besides K.O.
Jeez,
Murdoch?
do you hear this screwball?
Do you know Joe Pendleton?
Joe Pendleton? Yeah, you used to manage him, didn't you? A swell guy. He was always telling me I was going to take my measure someday. Whatever happened to him?
Don't you know?
Well, I wouldn't ask you if I did.
He was killed in an airplane crash.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I read something about that. Tough break. He was a nice kid.
Yeah, he sure was. Look, Lefty, let's you and me go outside. I got a proposition for you.
I ain't interested,
You'll be
Levine.
plenty interested once I tell you.
Saints go marching in.
Well, I'll listen.
That's all I ask. We'll be right back.
Oh, Lord, I want to be in that number when the saints go marching. When the saints go marching in. When the... Oh, hello. Excuse me.
Are you Mr. Murdoch?
Yeah, that's me.
I'm looking for Mr. Levine.
Oh, he just left.
Thank you.
Hey, wait a minute. Don't I know you?
I don't think so, Mr. Murdoch.
Oh, no, you're right. For a minute there, I thought you were somebody else. Funny, isn't it, how sometimes you think you know people?
Yes.
Hey, did you like the fight?
I didn't see it.
Oh, gee, that's too bad.
Oh, but I heard it over the radio, though. Oh, your eye is all red.
Oh, no, it's nothing. It's just a little bit swole.
Looks like it hurts.
Oh, no, it doesn't bother me.
Oh, and your lip, it's cut, too. Oh, I don't know why I did that.
No, I felt good. Would you do it again, please? Gee, you laugh beautiful, Miss...
Logan.
Murdoch. Tom Murdoch, but everybody calls me K.O.
How do you do?
Hello. So, you interested in the fight game?
I knew a man who was.
Oh, yeah, who? Maybe I know him.
Jonathan Farnsworth?
Yeah, the boys were telling me something about him. Knocked off by his wife, wasn't he?
Yes.
Oh, was he a friend of yours?
I loved him.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Hey, what's going on here? I'm sorry, Miss Logan. It'll be just a minute. Hey, who's there?
It's me, Mr. Murdoch. The fuse blew out. I'll have it fixed in a moment.
Well, hurry up. There's a young lady here.
Right away, Mr. Murdoch.
Oh, you all right, Miss Logan?
Yes, thank you.
When the lights went out, I tried to remember where I saw you. In the dark, your voice sounded like I'd heard it before, but I couldn't remember when or where. Did you feel anything, Miss Logan?
Yes, I did. I seemed to be standing up high on a hill and looking down at the ocean. And you were there, swimming toward the shore, looking up at me, trying to say something, shouting something. Something that I seem to have heard long ago. So long ago that it may have been in another existence.
Well, maybe that's it, Miss Logan. Maybe we knew each other sometime way back. I mean, funnier things than that can happen. Besides, I don't think you're strange. I feel like I've known you all my life. We couldn't be strangers and feel like we do, could we?
Perhaps not. Oh, I'd better be going.
Wait, please, don't go. I don't know why I should feel like I do. I know I got a lot of nerve, but if you're not doing anything, I mean, if nobody's waiting for you, I'd like you to go get a bite to eat with me. There's a great place, Mike's, just around the corner. I go there after all my fights. I'd like us to get better acquainted. Please, Miss Logan?
All right, Mr. Murdoch. I just remembered, I promised Jonathan, I mean Mr. Farnsworth, that I'd be nice to a fighter I'd meet soon.
Oh, gee, it must be my lucky day then. Hey, haven't I seen you before? Oh, I just said that's you, didn't I?
We've met, Mr. Murdoch.
Oh, yeah, now I remember. You're Jim Langley, used to be middleweight champ. I never missed one of your scraps. I learned a lot from you.
Well, I sincerely hope so, my boy.
Say, Jim, how you set for money?
Oh, I don't need any, thank you.
Oh, we all need it. Here, there you go. It's my big night. I feel good. I feel great. Better than I ever felt before. Like a newborn babe. Oh, the world's swell.
Well, I am delighted you feel like that, Mr. Murdoch.
I must be pretty lucky. Born under a lucky star, I guess. I mean, here I am, 23 and world champion, and I just met her.
Well, I don't want to run you kids out of here, but my job is finished. I got to close up and get back home.
Right, Jim. Sorry to keep you. Come on, Betty. Hey, I got a lot of nerve calling you Betty, huh?
How did you know my first name?
Well, you told me, didn't you?
No. That was strange.
Hey, pretty familiar with the girl I just met, huh?
Well, I don't like to run you out of here, but it's time to close up. Good luck to both of you, and God bless.
Thanks a lot, Jim. So long.
So long, K.O. Looking for somebody?
Yeah, Joe Pendleton, alias K.O. Moydock, alias Jonathan Farnsworth, alias God knows who. I just bought a half interest in him from Lefty. Where'd he go?
K.O. Murdoch just left. There isn't any Joe Pendleton. Not anymore. Good night, Max.
Good night, Mr. Jordan.